Tonight on NewsVision, one historic plaza in Coral Gables is on its way to be demolished. We'll tell you what it would be replaced with.
You're entering a place that's different from the surrounding communities. One that's well maintained, one that has its own aesthetic and its own identity.
Plus, one comedian has stirred an uproar among Hispanic voters, and why many think it's not a laughing matter.
It's part of the same old playbook of insulting hard-working Latinos.
And later on, hundreds of millions of people are celebrating Halloween today, but one campus organization is drawing attention to a different holiday that is marked today.
We open the space to receive them and enjoy with them, and after that they leave, but at least we have that space to share.
All these stories and more ahead on the program. NewsVision starts right now. Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of NewsVision. I'm Max Keller.
And I'm Emmeline Smith. Thank you for joining us.
Some students at the University of Miami are still displaced after a fire in a freshman dorm on Monday night. The incident happened on the third floor of Mahoney Residential College. A fire reportedly started in one of the dryer units and activated the sprinkler systems on the third and fourth floors. Students were evacuated from the building and some had to be relocated after the sprinklers went off in the hallways and water got into the rooms.
And I walk in and my entire rug is completely wet. A lot of my things were just soaked, and I had to move the thesis for 2 days.
Students taken to thesis returned to their dorms last night, but many still have to face flood-damaged furniture, rugs, and more.
A new update on the shops at Sunset Place. The South Miami City Commission has finally come to a decision, one that has been the topic of discussion for years now. Christopher Perez is live outside the mall to tell us more. Christopher, what happened?
Emmeline, families are out here in South Miami enjoying the Safe Streets Halloween event tonight. But while Sunset Place is full of treats and excitement, Sunset Place itself faces big changes in the area. The demolition plans of the iconic mall mean that events like these might look very different in the near future. Until just a few years ago, this mall, called the Shops at Sunset Place near the University of Miami, used to be a very busy place. It featured a huge Virgin music store that welcomed celebrities, a popular IMAX theater that was always packed, and lots of stores that were filled with people. But then, customers stopped coming. Online shopping moved in, newer, more modern malls got built, and the shops at Sunset Place began closing one by one as it was struggling to stay relevant. Now, there's been a lot of talk about what to do with the 25-year-old center.
They wanted to do something that connected back to the rest of the community, both the Coral Gables side of 57th Avenue and obviously downtown South Miami.
Now, the South Miami City Commission has approved plans from one company called Midtown Development to demolish the mall and pave the way for a new revitalized multi-use development.
So we were excited about that and really moving from what could have been the third iteration of a failed retail mall concept to something that was much more a mixed-use community center of activity in South Miami.
The redevelopment plans will introduce residential, office, and dining spaces to attract families, teens, and professionals.
So that when you traverse through South Miami, you notice that you're entering a place that's different from the surrounding communities. One that's well maintained, one that has its own aesthetic and its own identity.
The mall will be replaced by 7 towers up to 33 stories high with more than 1,500 residencies, a hotel for thousands of guests, and a movie theater with 1,300 seats. The idea is to strike a balance, holding on to what makes the area special, but still making room for growth with modern developments that can attract both businesses and families.
So my vision is to try to preserve that aspect of our community. And so I think over the next 2 years, I want to push to have more inclusion in terms of affordability and housing options. I also want to make sure that we have the best in class of everything.
Some business owners in the area are hopeful, but a bit worried about this change.
It might affect us a bit because of the dust and movement. Everything happening around could have an impact. It could also bring in a lot of people. With many businesses possibly closing due to the same situation around here, we hope things will change for the better, but it's a risk we have to take.
Demolition should begin in the coming months, and construction is expected to be completed within the next 5 years in hopes of transforming it into what fits the idea of the character of South Miami. Although Sunset Place has transformed itself into a safety zone for trick-or-treaters, it's hard not to think about the changes coming to the area ahead of time. Tonight marks not only a Halloween celebration, but it also marks a farewell for people who grew up here, including myself. Now, so while this might be Sunset Place's last Halloween, it's clear that the spirit and the memories will last as long as the kids enjoy one last night of trick-or-treating fun. Reporting live outside of Sunset Place, I'm Christopher Perez, UMTV.
Thank you, Christopher. Today marks the end of Domestic Violence Awareness Month that started back in 1989 by a law from Congress. We have two stories now from Kayla Butter and Lauren Harrington who tell us what some organizations on campus are doing to support victims of domestic violence.
10 million people are affected by domestic violence in the United States each year, and one initiative at the University of Miami aims to help those who are impacted. In acknowledgement of Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October, UM's Title IX office hosts a drive to collect donations for the Safe Space Foundation, an organization that has domestic violence shelters all across Miami.
There's an opportunity to shine a light on the struggles and the courage of survivors of domestic violence, and we want to do our part at UM by showing our support.
The drive happens throughout the last 2 months of October and is meant to bring awareness to relationship violence and help those who need it.
Throughout the last 2 weeks of October, students are able to come to different locations across the Gables, Marine, and medical campuses to drop off supplies like deodorant, toothpaste, and toothbrushes to later be donated to the Safe Space shelter.
They are leaving many times everything behind to escape abuse, and personal hygiene items are something that allows them to start afresh by taking care of themselves and being able to fulfill some of the most basic necessities of recognizing themselves again as a person outside of that kind of relationship.
The University of Miami's chapter of It's On Us, an organization working toward changing campus culture on sexual misconduct, informs students about relationship violence, especially among college students.
What we don't take into account is that this can genuinely happen to anyone. So we need to know where the boundaries are, what is okay, what's not okay, what your resources are, who's there for you, to make sure that you don't find yourself in that situation and you feel as safe as possible.
Kayla Butter, UMTV.
A global project to draw awareness to sexual assault and domestic violence has found a home in many U.S. universities. During the month of October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, campuses around the country, including the University of Miami, host the Clothesline Project.
So the Clothesline Project is an event that COPE has been putting on for 14 years here at the University of Miami. It is an event that is for sexual assault and domestic violence awareness.
The event is hosted by COPE, which is short for Counseling Outreach Peer Education. It is a group of UM student educators focused on promoting mental health awareness and connecting students with counseling center resources. The Clothesline Project invites students, faculty, and community members to decorate t-shirts that represent their experiences or messages of support.
These shirts have been made by students, faculty, anyone in the UM community over these past 14 years, and they have messages of support and survival from survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence and allies and people who have loved ones who have survived the same thing.
This impactful event not only raises awareness about violence against women, but also fosters a sense of community and healing here at the University of Miami.
It's able to create a space on campus where we're able to demonstrate that there is a community of support for individuals who have been victims of violence, violence against women, violence against men, violence against anybody, and just to show that it's never okay and what happened to you is never your own fault.
The event also serves as a reminder that conversations about violence and mental health must not be overlooked. By encouraging openness, COPE aims to break the stigma surrounding these topics.
Showing people that it's super important to talk about these harder to talk about topics. So like mental health, mental illness, sexual assault, making it more normalized to have these important educational conversations about it can help educate everyone around us.
COPE's message is clear. No one has to face their struggles alone. The Clothesline Project not only honors those affected by violence, but also demonstrates a commitment to healing, support, and advocacy on campus, one t-shirt at a time. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Lauren Harrington.
Time for a short break, but when NewsVision returns, one comedy sketch at a Trump rally is making headlines for the wrong reasons. I'll tell you how voters are reacting just a few days before the election when we return.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hello and welcome to NewsVision's Red, White, and You. I'm Billy Brightman, aka the Hanging Chad, because nothing's scarier than a ballot punched wrong. It's the final day of October, and the 2024 presidential election is just 5 days away. A common phenomenon that comes up around this time of the election cycle is the October surprise. Merriam-Webster defines an October surprise as a significant revelation or event in the month prior to an election that has the potential to shift public opinion about an election candidate that is often orchestrated to influence the election's outcome, but more generally refers to shocking news near the end of the campaign season. In 2016, then FBI Director James Comey announced he would be looking into Hillary Clinton's emails again months after the Bureau concluded its investigation. This happened 11 days before the election. But in an election defined by shocking and unprecedented moments, was there an October surprise? In an election with assassination attempts and never-before-seen late dropouts, it doesn't seem like anything else could shake up the voter base. If there was going to be any October surprise, some believe it could be the comments made by comedian Tony Hinchcliffe at a Trump rally Sunday.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Officials from Latino voter mobilization groups are disappointed by the comments.
It's part of the same old playbook of insulting hardworking Latinos.
Vice President Kamala Harris was also disappointed by the claims and referred to her endorsements from Puerto Rican celebrities like Bad Bunny to tell the Latino community she is on their side.
I'm very proud to have the support of folks like Bad Bunny and Jennifer Lopez and others who were supporting me before that nonsense last night at Madison Square Garden.
Former President Donald Trump and his team have both said that the claims do not reflect the views of the Trump campaign.
I don't know who he is. I've never seen him. I heard he made a statement, but it was just a statement that he made. He's a comedian. What can I tell you?
President Biden was quick to respond in his own controversial way.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
However, both the White House press staff and the Vice President have been quick to say there is no place for hate on either side of the campaign.
I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. I believe that the work that I do is about representing all the people, whether they support me or not.
We will not fully know the effects of any recent surprises until the election is called. But over 63.6 million people have already voted nationwide, with just over 6 million of those coming from Florida. If you want to stay up to date with the votes as they come in on election night, tune into Decision Day, UMTV's live election coverage. It'll start at 8 p.m. right here on UMTV. Max?
Thank you, Billy. As voters hit the polls, the University of Miami's Sue and Leonard Miller Center for Contemporary Judaic Studies held an event to educate voters about the Jewish vote and how swing states will affect the election.
Working hard to change the votes of all Californians or Jewish Californians is not going to change the result of the elections, and that's why right now, for the most part, both candidates are only campaigning in those 7 states.
Professor Sheskin used his lecture to share his research about Jewish political party preferences, the decrease in safety of Jewish Americans, and the recent uptick in elected Jewish members of Congress.
One of the most important issues for the Jewish voters is the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. The New York-based organization Belev Echad is an international nonprofit dedicated to restoring wounded Israeli defense soldiers back to life through physical, medical, legal, emotional, and financial support. The organization recently brought 8 IDF soldiers on a transformative journey to Miami.
We're going to support heroes who are fighting fights that are worth fighting around the world to preserve our freedom and quality of life.
Belev Echad creates a strong support network offering soldiers essential and resources to recover and move forward.
Florida has seen some of the worst of hurricane season. As Helene and then Milton swept through devastating lives, many are left in need of food, water, and help rebuilding what has been lost. One Miami organization is working hard in recent weeks trying to help those impacted recover. Global Empowerment Mission, otherwise known as GEM, is a disaster relief organization based in Doral. They respond to disasters by organizing supply kits filled with essentials such as food, water, hygiene products, and things needed for temporary shelter, such as mattresses and tents. In the wake of the destruction of Helene and Milton, their employees and volunteers have been working tirelessly to get supplies shipped out of those affected. It's a long process that was started way before the hurricane landed.
We were expecting things to be catastrophic. Therefore, we put a call out to our volunteers and local community partners to come in and help us make around 3,000 family essential kits.
GEM has provided help to almost 40,000 people in Florida and North Carolina after the hurricanes so far. And Emmeline, it finally looks like the weather here is starting to calm down a little bit. Let's knock on wood.
Definitely knock on wood. I mean, homecoming weekend was beautiful here, but I wonder what Halloween weekend is going to look like. Student meteorologist Colin Rick is here to give us the forecast. Colin, would rain spoil the trick-or-treating tonight?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I've been watching the radar closely today and those temperatures. Radar right now, we just got a couple of showers that have developed and moving in. Nothing crazy yet, no washout by any means. Temperatures in the middle to 80s, dipping down to the upper 70s tonight. Not expecting any rain tonight. So in terms of trick-or-treating, I think tonight will be a treat with the forecast. Your Halloween forecast tonight, temperatures in the upper 70s, mostly cloudy skies tonight. Mostly clear skies tonight, and then as we go throughout the hourly tonight, we'll see those temperatures hold off in the upper 70s, possibly some low 80s as we go throughout the night tonight. Tomorrow, temperatures in the middle 80s, partly cloudy skies, 84 here in Miami is your forecasted high, possibly some isolated showers as well as we get that breeze off the Atlantic. Now, speaking of which, let's take a look at your tropic watch. We have an area of development that we're watching closely here, a moderate risk of tropical cyclone development off the Yucatan Peninsula. That's a moderate risk, about mid chance, probably about a 60% chance of tropical cyclone development. But as of today, we're watching this new area that has just developed that is a low chance but not zero here just off the British Virgin Islands. And that's something we're going to pay very close attention to into next week, as remnants of that tropical system do have the potential to bring us some tropical elements here. So we're going to watch this here. There will be a low pressure system about midweek next week developing off the Atlantic coast of Miami here, bringing us the potential for some rainfall and possibly some tropical wind gusts. We'll keep you posted on that as we go throughout the week. But for your game day forecast on Saturday, we're going to be sitting at 83 degrees, mostly clear skies throughout the day, 83 for kickoff at 12. And then your 7-day forecast, we're going to hold on to that trend. Temperatures in the middle 80s, lows in the low to upper 70s as we go throughout the week. And then rain chances returning midweek next week.
Thanks, Colin. Now we turn to one local organization that is helping women take the next step towards survival. Emma Balleste has the story.
Where there is determination, there is a finish line. In the heart of the Miami neighborhood of Wynwood, hundreds of women from different backgrounds gather every month for Women Run Wynwood, the largest nonprofit women-led 5K run club in Miami. But this month's run was a little different.
We all know someone that has had breast cancer. So may today you feel the hope, may today you feel the light, may today you feel that you're not in this alone.
Griselle Denise founded Women Run Wynwood in 2018 to show women that together they can get through anything.
If women don't have community, and if they don't exercise, they don't run, how do they get through these things in life? And so right then and there, I promised myself, hey, Like, while women are in my hands, while I can reach women, they're never going to feel this way again.
Breast cancer affects 1 in 8 women worldwide, and initiatives like this bring awareness to it and encourage women to prioritize their health.
I have many friends who have had breast cancer, and thanks to God, medicine, and foundations like these ones, they have been able to overcome it and also connect with other survivors.
For Grizel, exercise is the key to a community of support.
For people going through hard things, for example, breast cancer, once you start exercising, you start feeling better. And once you really understand this, that's when the real empowerment begins to happen.
With breast cancer awareness coming to an end this week, Women Run Wynwood are making sure that Breast Cancer Awareness Month is not only celebrated in October, but year-round as well.
Women Run Wynwood will see you next month at Visa Sir Brewing Company. Emma Ballester reporting for UMTV.
Up next, we'll take a look at how Miami fared against rival FSU. This and more in sports after a short break. Stay with us.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is me? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending, right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Welcome to sports. I'm John Stanley. The Miami Hurricanes battled their bitter rivals, Florida State, in this weekend's homecoming football game. Let's take a look at how things went down. We'll start off early second quarter here. Damian Martinez takes the handoff, bounces off some tacklers, and he'll find his way into the end zone. He had a huge game against the Seminoles this weekend. He had over 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Next Canes possession, Cam Ward in the pocket, doing Cam Ward things. Looks to extend the play. He's going to roll to his right, spin out of a tackle. Now he's going to look left, and he's going to find his true freshman wide receiver, JoJo Trader. A little toe drag swag on the sideline from the freshman receiver to get the first down. Later on, Miami's going to dig into their bag of tricks as Isaiah Arroyo tosses it to Cam Ward. That's his first career reception touchdown as a Hurricane. And finally, to finish off the Seminoles, why not give it to him again? Damian Martinez up the gut, walks it in. Miami dominates FSU 36-14. They remain undefeated. Miami Heat legend Dwayne Wade has been honored with a statue outside the Kaseya Center, the team's home stadium. But as many fans have pointed out, the statue doesn't exactly represent D. Wade as we all remember. The Miami Heat revealed the statue during a ceremony on Sunday, making Wade the only Heat player to ever hold the honor. The problem is, the statue looks nothing like the legendary shooting guard. Fans pointed out the statue's odd look on social media, and the 3-time NBA champion responded with his take on the situation. Wade said, "Talk more about our statue, come by and see it and take some photos. Send some memes, we don't care. It was a special moment." The statue depicts Wade's "This is my house" celebration from his game-winning buzzer beater against the Bulls in 2009. The MLB season wrapped up last night, and the Los Angeles Dodgers are World Series champs. The Dodgers came into the Game 5 matchup against the New York Yankees just one win away from winning the series, but they had to come from behind to do it. The Yankees pulled ahead early thanks to the bats of Aaron Judge and Jazz Chisholm, giving them a 5-0 lead. New York ace Garrett Cole pitched a great game over the course of 6 innings, but was let down by 3 costly errors, resulting in 5 unearned runs that allowed the Dodgers to pull even. Los Angeles then took the lead late and relied on their strong bullpen to bring it home. This is the Dodgers' 8th World Series win, placing them tied for 5th for all-time total championships. Earlier this week, the University of Miami Herbert Business School partnered with the Miami Dolphins football team to raise money for cancer research with a bike ride. Manny Nacarado checked out the event, where even Sebastian took a ride.
As Breast Cancer Awareness Month wraps up, a new fundraiser is kicking off here on campus as the Miami Herbert Business School partners with the Miami Dolphins Cancer Challenge charity to raise funds for cancer research.
And today we're promoting physical well-being and tying it into our team's fundraising efforts for the Dolphins Cancer Challenge. So we're challenging our students to challenge each other, challenge a professor by contributing $10 into our fund.
And as students and faculty members race to the finish line, they hope to see more events like these around campus.
It's definitely really important because we're bringing attention to really necessary issues, and we're also engaging faculty and students. This is super fun to take part in, and I know it's bringing tons of awareness and it's for a good cause, so I definitely support bringing more of these events to campus.
So the Miami Herbert Dolphins Cancer Challenge team is aiming to fundraise $25,000. We've just begun our fundraising efforts, so we're about $2,000 into that effort.
And as the road to $25,000 continues, the Miami Herbert Business School hopes that it's events like these that will get students involved in the cause. For UMTV, I'm Manny Nacarado.
Still ahead, we'll take you to one home in Miami that's been winning awards for its Halloween decorations. I'll show you why when we return.
Try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Kids and adults in the United States and in many countries are celebrating Halloween today. Tomorrow is also the Mexican Day of the Dead, aka Dia de los Muertos. The city of Coral Gables decided to get into the spirit last week. On Saturday, October 26th, Miami locals of all ages and cultures gathered in Ponce Circle Park for the annual Day of the Dead Festival. Organized by Miami's Consulate General of Mexico and the city of Coral Gables, the evening was full of traditional Mexican ceremonies, food from local vendors, performances, and more. And here on campus, the University of Miami welcomed a meal, a Mexican cultural organization that travels to teach people how to make sugar skulls like this one right here. And Emmeline, now that we're in our costumes, I really feel that Halloween spirit.
And speaking of Halloween spirit, it is Halloween night tonight, and one UM professor always finds a way to keep his house in the spooky spirit.
Professor Trevor Green has won numerous awards in his neighborhood of Coconut Grove for standout Halloween decor.
Taryn Jacobs, or should we say Shark Girl, is live at Professor Green's house. Taryn, what's it looking like over there?
Emmeline, most of the time you see houses decorated for Christmas, but this Miami neighborhood shows its holiday spirit on Halloween. This year is the 6th annual Halloween on Coral Way, which is a house decorating competition organized by the Shenandoah and Silver Bluff neighborhoods. Professor Green has won this event for the past 4 years since he joined, and he's looking to make it 5 this year. I'm outside of Professor Green's house right now, and just look at all this madness. So much going on, so much to see. Professor Green here to my right, fixing up those skeletons and getting them just right for those trick-or-treaters before they come. To my left, you see a graveyard full of gravestones, skeletons, so much witches brewing to my right. So much to see here at Professor Green's house, but have a happy and safe Halloween. From Coconut Grove, Taryn Jacobs, UMTV.
Emmeline, that is amazing. Let's get a little golf clap for Professor Trevor Green. Amazing stuff there with those decorations. And now that it's time to trick or treat, what's your favorite candy, Emmeline?
I have to say probably Sour Patch watermelons. What about you, Max?
I'm gonna have to go with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Ooh, we got a little sweet and sour duo here at the desk. But that's all the time we have for this week's edition of NewsVision.
Be sure to tune in at the same time next Thursday. Have a great Halloween and stay safe.
Yay!